Today begins a really exciting series on how can you know your past lives from clues in your present life. In other words, you don't have to go to a hypnotherapist. So naturally, if we're going to look at our past lives, it's a good idea to look at why would we want to do that. So that's what episode 1 today is about. All right, number 1, curiosity, of course. What was I in my past life? I mean, people wonder. We, of course, hope that we were somebody rich and famous, unless maybe we are rich and famous now and we know it's not a piece of cake. We just wonder, what could we have been in a past life? Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, it helps to make sense of your present life, to know about a past life. For example, I have previous videos of mine in which I wondered why I feel hungry all the time. Even though I eat, even though I have a great, huge meal, sometimes after I finish the meal, I still feel hungry, which of course has given me problems with weight gain in this lifetime. Well, it turns out that I was in a concentration camp during the Holocaust. So it makes sense that in this lifetime, I have issues with hunger and just wanting to eat and eat because of the fear that there just might not be any food soon. So that's your second point, to make sense of your present life. Number 3, there's this great joy of finding out what it's like to be another person. Ever think of that? Do you ever look at somebody else and wonder, what's it like to live their life? Well, I've had the wonderful experience of knowing what it's like to be certain other kinds of people. And I have some videos on that, which one was about having been a gay man, a sailor who was a gay man in a very loving relationship with another man. And another one was of being a Black woman. Of course, I didn't know I was Black because it was pre-colonial Africa. So as far as we were concerned, human beings were just like us. We didn't travel. We didn't have TV. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have texting, videos on YouTube. All we knew was us. And it was really exciting to be this kind of person in this tribe of extremely loving people. All of us cared for each other so much. So that's the third reason, the joy of finding out what it's like to be another kind of human being. So number 4, to find a soulmate. Now, a woman wrote to me and she said she had met this man and there was this sense of having known him before. And she ended up being involved with another man. But then this first man came back in her life and she realized that the first man, she actually knew him from a previous life. And she just had so much empathy for him and felt so comfortable with him. And she ended up being with the first man because they had more than this lifetime together. They had at least one more life before that. So another good reason for looking into your past lives is to find people you have connections with. Now, this is the best one of all. It's number 5 in the list, and it is to know that you're immortal, that you're an eternal being. Because after all, if you remember a past life or you realize that in this life there are indications that you lived before, then this fear that the world seems to live in about what's going to happen, what's the future going to be, at least you know that your future is continuous. It's one thing that has really, really, really made a huge difference in my life, to have known previous lifetimes for that reason. Now, the sixth reason for knowing past lives, and this one has to do with something I've touched on before, and it is that it helps a person to release trauma from their past, because often we are remembering or carrying the effects of a previous life in this lifetime. Eastern religions would call it karma. So it helps us to deal with this karma. In other words, there are things in our life that are obvious. They have a cause and effect in this lifetime, but there are other things that we say, how could that happen to me? I'm a good person. Well, it often has come from something in a past life. All right, now my seventh and last point. I've been talking about the pros of looking at your past lives and wondering what they are. This is going to be a con, because people say, why bother looking at your past life? Why don't you just deal with the present? Who wants to go? It's foolish to go looking in the past. Well, good heaven, you should tell that to somebody who likes history. I mean, what is the value of learning history? History helps us to learn from our mistakes, to learn about what works and what doesn't work. For example, say Winston Churchill, who is so well appreciated and renowned for basically bringing our world through the Second World War to triumph. And he studied history. He knew all about different kinds of battles, different kinds of leaders, different types of generals. He was immersed in studying the history of countries and civilizations. All right, so those are my 7 points. If you've enjoyed this, please tap the like button. And if you're new here and are interested in these topics, please subscribe, because I've got so much to share with you that will help you to have this sense that you are more than what you appear to be and that you are eternal. It's Carol Ann Chapman. I'm the author of When We Were Gods, which is a chronicle of my past life memories of Atlantis. Well, toodaloo. Bye-bye.